is Notsam Wrestling.
Introducing your host from New York, here is Sam Roberts.
Here for the first time in studio, in the Notsam studio. He's been on the podcast before, but never in person. You know him. You gotta love him. He is that Danhausen.
Oh.
Welcome, Danhausen. How are you?
Pretty good. It's quite wonderful. Is Danhausen close enough to this microphone?
Yeah, yep, that's perfect.
Very good, close, yeah.
You don't even have to. Don't even pay attention to it.
Oh,
don't
so we
even
can be back here.
Well, I mean, with the suitable. Just don't worry about it too much.
Okay.
You've spoken into microphones before, though. You know how to
Yes.
broadcast.
Oh.
Whether it's a wrestling promo or doing your own shows on YouTube. You've done this stuff before.
Oh, yes, quite well, too, if you ask Danhausen.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't, but I would agree with you. I think
I
that's
think
that's a fair assessment. So, Danhausen, what you're back now. You've been on the podcast before. It was on over Zoom. There was a lot going on over Zoom, but travel has returned. I feel like this is becoming the summer of Danhausen. You're on the road quite a bit. You're doing appearances. You're doing independent shows. What is the energy that you feel from the fans after the last year of kind of a lot of build-up, but not a lot of face-to-face interaction with these fans?
Oh, well, it's been quite wonderful. You called it the summer of Danhausen, yes?
I think so.
That's pretty good, because Pepsi Man has that, too.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a
that is
connection.
Great friend. Anyways, you said, what is it like having the fan connection back? It's quite wonderful. Danhausen has lineups out the door, usually. He's hitting
Wow.
up all of these new places that he's never been. We were in West Virginia recently. Lineups out the door for well over an hour of people wanting to meet Danhausen. Fanhausen's dressed like Danhausen.
Wow.
Quite wonderful. Yes, it has been, what is it? Frank Costanza say, invigorating.
Invigorating.
Yes.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it, and I'm glad that you're feeling that support because, I mean, I would have to imagine that you know that the word of Danhausen is spreading and that you're getting bigger and bigger, but you can't really know that until you're back in front of those people. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. Like at, what is it? Best in the World? Is that the pay-per-view Danhausen did?
Yes, it
There
was.
was lots of Fanhausens with Danhausen's likeness. Perhaps you should sue them, but, who knows? We shall
Right.
not sue the Fanhausens, but,
At some point, yeah. I mean,
At some point,
again,
yeah.
that's like
very
we
evil.
talked last time you were on the podcast about the very good, very evil. It's better for business to be very good.
Yes,
Very
very
nice, very nice, very evil.
nice.
It's better for business to be very nice, but at points, maybe it's better not to be nice for business. Maybe you can make more money suing your fans.
Oh, well, see, this is quite the problem. Danhausen doesn't know when it's too evil, which suing the fans might be too evil.
Yeah.
Maybe Danhausen would prefer that there's a sea of people who look like Danhausen.
Right.
You know what? Yes, we shall clear the air here.
Okay.
We shall not sue the fans.
Okay.
They shall just dress like Danhausen
Uh-huh.
at every single show, and then they'll be undeniable.
Well, that's the question, right? That you're getting to a point where you need to zero in on this. What is more important to Danhausen? Is it the money or is it the power?
Oh, well, what about both?
You could have both.
Perhaps
You could
we
have
could
both.
make Danhausen masks
Mm.
that can be mass-produced to send out to the audience, which will in turn give Danhausen power and money.
Yes, and you could see, and when fans come to meet you and they got the paint on,
Yes.
you could be very nice and say,
Oh.
I appreciate the paint. However, in the future,
You must buy this mask.
right. Or I was going to say you could buy this mask.
No. They
Okay.
must buy this mask.
I see,
Or they'll be
okay.
cursed. They have to
Okay.
give Danhausen money.
Or be cursed.
Or be cursed,
Yeah.
which is bad.
Very bad.
Yes.
I actually, you know what? The film I watched, I watched the film Drag Me to Hell
Oh, good
just
one.
last night.
Just the first time you saw it?
No, I'd seen
Oh.
it before, but it's been a long time.
It is good.
It's very good, very evil,
Yeah, it's very evil.
not very nice.
Quite well, it's a little bit nice.
There are points where it's nice. Justin Long's very nice.
Yeah, he's a little bit nice. It is Derry from the Jeeper Creeper movie.
Right. That's
Yes.
exactly right. That's exactly right. But it made me realize too, because you talk about cursing people a lot,
Yes.
and it made me realize how damaging those curses can be.
They could be, but, it's what they choose. They choose their own fate. If they decide to cross Danhausen, they should get cursed.
That's true. That's up to them.
That is not on Danhausen. This
No.
is on them.
That's true.
That is, they create their own free will, or
Mhm.
whatever their wording is, and if they get cursed, it's their fault.
Nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know.
I get it. I get it.
Get it 100%.
Yeah. So, best in the world.
Oh, yes.
You and PCO,
Yes.
great tag team.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
There were a lot of people on the internet though that were going Danhausen on the first hour. Why not in the main event or a place like that? Now, there already was a main event. A big Ring of Honor title change happened. Bandito winning the title. That's a very big deal. So maybe not the main event, but was there any part of you that was like, well, I think that we should put this on more of a pedestal? Or is the first hour a very good place because of all the eyes?
Well, we could look at it that way, but we could also look at it the way of you could get fan housings to pay to watch Danhausen
Yes.
on the paid 2 hours or whatever it was. But I suppose they wanted a hot young upstart like PCO and a legend like Danhausen to open the show
Mhm.
to get viewers to buy in.
Yes. No, I get that. Now, did you talk to PCO? PCO is a veteran tag team performer.
Oh.
Did you not know?
No,
Okay.
Danhausen thought he brought him into this Ring of Honor as a new star.
Okay.
You know how Triple H shakes hands,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Oh, this is a new star."
Right.
But Danhausen thought he shakes PCO's hand. He comes in, give him a T-shirt or whatever, and he gets a hot new career.
Right. So Danhausen was given the point.
Giving the
To
point to
PCO.
PCO.
Oh,
Yes,
that's very nice of
Giving
you.
him a platform to showcase his talents.
And it's probably very grateful for that.
Oh, absolutely.
However, he has had platforms
Oh.
before, and he has been in tag teams before. He's actually been a tag team champion before with a gentleman. His name was Jacques Rougeau, the Mountie.
Oh,
Yes, the Quebecers were a
Yes,
big
okay.
team, and I was wondering if PCO had a preference in terms of tag teams. Does he like the PCO Danhausen connection, or does he long for the days of the Quebecers?
Well, this is the first Danhausen has heard of this. So
Of the Quebecers at all? You've
Yes.
never heard of this team?
No. So it's probably Danhausen if we had to guess, because do you see Danhausen decimate the bouncers?
Mm-hmm.
One-handed.
Yeah.
Choke slam up, down.
I saw that.
Yes, he decimated them, eviscerated them, and then we won. You see him. He went for the very nice, very evil.
Mhm.
It was too much.
Too much.
But then Danhausen pulled in the strength from the Fanhausens that were finally in the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
and he was able to John Cena him, if you will,
I will.
and tossed him across the ring
Mm-hmm.
with the, the attitude adjustment.
That's right. That's right. Or, I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of evil name you could come up with.
The John Cena.
Or just the John
Yes,
Cena.
The finisher is called the John Cena.
Yes.
It's Danhausen's secondary finisher, the John Cena.
That's a very good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very good. Yeah. So, and I would imagine, especially if we're at the point where the Quebecers, like, you've never even heard of this team. So I would
what
think
have they done?
they did win the WWE Tag Team Championship. They did.
WWE Monday Night WrestleMania.
Raw was the show.
right.
The
Things
show.
have
I don't know.
changed.
Yeah, they do have another show called WrestleMania.
They have Friday night WrestleMania. They have
Okay.
Monday night WrestleMania,
Okay.
and then they do WrestleMania every month.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, more or less.
Yes,
Yeah. No,
which
there's
is quite wonderful.
more of an annual thing, but that's fine. I mean, either way, I know what you're saying,
Oh, good.
and we are on the same page. So, has there been? Is that the favorite match that you've had since fans have been back?
Oh, yes. Also, there was Mike Bennett in Danhausen did a wrestling match, which Danhausen maybe won. Danhausen doesn't remember.
Mhm.
It was at New South Pro Wrestling in Alabama,
Mhm.
and it was quite wonderful because it was a wonderful bout of back and forth. We beat each other up, kind of.
You like that?
Oh, yes, it was quite nice. He'd hit Danhausen. Danhausen would get some powers from that, and then hit him back. It's quite wonderful. It has a formidable opponent. Showcase that Danhausen can go with some of the top-level stars on this wonderful wrestling scene.
Yeah. I think that people, and I think that that's good for you. First of all, we will get back to this, but I didn't realize that you get power from being beaten up.
Sometimes, yes.
And I will ask about that, but I think it is important that people realize that Danhausen, because sometimes people don't quite know what to make of you, with the voice and the makeup and the just the whole aura of Danhausen, not in a negative way,
Oh.
but just you're not typical of a professional wrestler in 2021.
Oh, because we're so glamorous. And usually it's very rugged business.
Exactly.
Yes, we're big
Exactly.
on
It's a very rugged business. And so the idea that you can show this rugged side of yourself, I think is very, very helpful to the perception of Danhausen going forward. Does that make sense?
Yes, this makes quite the sense.
Yes.
Showcases another side of Danhausen that maybe some have not seen.
Mm-hmm. Does that ever worry Danhausen that you're like, okay, the Fanhausens, they love the face.
Yes.
I was going to say the paint, but you're not wearing
just
your
the-
paint.
no, just the
yeah,
face.
you're not.
Well,
I meant,
we do a little bit of red under the eyes to
That's
bring
nice.
out the color.
yeah, no, it accents things nicely.
Exactly.
I did notice that. But you're decorative.
Yes.
You're fashionable in your garb.
Well, you as well. You've got this wonderful McDonald T-shirt.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
No, I like that. Thank you for noticing.
Premium
my friend.
cuisine.
Yes, no, it's very good. It's very delicious. But do you worry that the Fanhausens don't always take in your abilities as a professional wrestler?
Sometimes, perhaps, but also maybe not. Maybe the Fanhausens actually do.
Mm-hmm.
It is the people on the outside who maybe do not. And then, every once in a while, Danhausen likes to remind them that when it is time, Danhausen can go.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, well, that's the thing. You can't threaten to put curses on people if they can beat you up.
Exactly. So, sometimes Danhausen will keep this a secret between you and I.
We won't tell them.
Danhausen likes to trick his foes into thinking he is a fool,
But
but he is not.
No?
Good brain.
Good.
So, tricks them with his foolishness, his tomfoolery, if you will.
I will.
Conan O'Brien said that was quite nice. He said he bestowed upon Danhausen his lifetime of tomfoolery, or whatever it may be. This is still a secret. So Danhausen likes to utilize this as a main weapon tactic in wrestling matches. And then, when it is time, he switches it on them. And then he shows them he's a good wrestle boy.
Oh, wow. And then it's like, they're in there. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We're still telling secrets.
Yes.
So then Danhausen's opponents are in there going,
Oh, who is this fool? I surely will beat him with no problem.
and then all of a sudden, halfway through, they're like, oh, my goodness, there's
snap.
this great wrestle boy in the ring with me all of a sudden.
Yes. And then they don't know what to do.
Yes.
And then Danhausen capitalizes on their...
I know what they do.
What do they do?
They get defeated. That's what they do.
Exactly.
That's what they do. And then Danhausen, the wrestle boy that he is, gets to go home with the winner's purse, the money.
Yes. Oh, yes, all the monies.
Money.
It's quite nice.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
see,
And
perfect plan.
it's a great plan. All right, we'll get back to the show now.
Okay.
We'll let the
very good.
audience. Yes.
You can CGI this part out.
We will. We'll just
Yes.
yeah. I
Thank
got
you.
Spielberg on the case and everything.
Good.
So, you were talking about the fact that you drew power from the beating that Mike Bennett was giving you.
Yes, it's invigorating, as we had said earlier.
I see. So is that what it is? It's the adrenaline that kicks
Yes.
in. Like once you're like, okay, like I feel like sometimes you feel pain,
Yes.
and instead of being a coward and having it motivate you to run away, it charges you up. Yes.
Sometimes, yes.
I
It
see.
is much like when Danhausen does his little dance,
Right.
the tequila dance.
Yes.
It is, he's hypnotized, again, it's his secret, but he is hypnotizing the audience to sing a song with him and dance, and then they yell Danhausen after.
Mm-hmm.
That gives him powers. It's kind of similar.
Right. And the fact that, subliminally, the fact that they just yelled out Danhausen, they think to themselves, I should buy some items from this person after
yes.
the show.
It is putting a little hypnotic swirl in their brain
Mm-hmm.
to go to the merchandise booth after and spend all their monies on Danhausen.
Smart.
It's the evil plan.
But effective.
Effective, but
Effective.
evil. Very effective, very evil, if you will.
Right. I will. I
Yes.
absolutely will. So last time we talked, one of Danhausen's goals was to be on Conan O'Brien's television show.
Yes.
But then Conan O'Brien's television show collapsed around him,
Oh.
and it ended. There
Yes.
is no more Conan O'Brien television show.
Well,
Evil forces have taken that away from us.
yes, it would appear so.
So is that something that you look at as a shame, or is that something where you go, well, before the evil forces took it away, Danhausen still got to be a part of that?
This is true. Dan
Yes.
has still got to be a part of the podcast. So
Yes.
It's quite nice.
Quite nice.
Also, Conan O'Brien will probably be back. Yes, he has
I would
an
imagine.
HBO show coming out
He's got another
sometime.
show, yeah.
Danhausen will just be on that. It's perfectly fine.
That's perfect.
We shall contact Sona, and we'll get Danhausen booked on it.
All right, let's
Contact Sona.
contact her. So, Danhausen, with your, I wonder this. You have a pretty significant pop culture IQ.
Oh, yes.
You're aware of film, television,
Yes. Oh, yes.
comedy, all this stuff. You have a hosting ability, right?
Oh, well,
Right?
thank you. Yes, absolutely. Legendary host.
What was it about wrestling that drew you in? Because I feel like I see you as a person who's drawn to performance.
Yes.
But performance can show itself in many ways.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, we talked about this a little bit before, maybe.
Yeah.
You've had him on the show.
Yeah.
Kane
Yeah.
brought Danhausen in because he's visual. He has red lights. He's so strong, just like Danhausen. He's very tall, like Danhausen, and he looks menacing.
Yeah.
So the visual is that. Gold Dust is
Mhm.
quite wonderful. The
Mhm.
showmanship. Mr. Piper, quite wonderful.
Mhm.
Does movies as well. So
Yes.
that draws Danhausen in. Who else? The Dwayne. We all know the Dwayne.
Yes.
Cold Steve. These are all monetizing fellows.
I see. So So, have you always been aware of the business end of things? Like, have you always thought about the fact that, like, man, if I'm going to be a wrestler, I want to be awesome. I want to beat people up, but also I got to be one of these guys that sells shirts because everybody
Oh,
that you
yes.
just mentioned, they sell stuff. The Dwayne, it says, that shirt, you smell what the Dwayne is cooking.
Yes.
Cold Stone 316 is a
Yes,
big
yes,
one.
yes.
Even the Pepsi man has the, it's
Oh.
Pepsi time
He
shirt.
does. He
Like
says it's Pepsi time. He drinks a Pepsi. Yes, but we also let's mention Mick Foley real quick.
Let's
He's
mention him.
monetized 3 times. 'Cause
Yes.
he is Dude Love. He's Mankind. He's Cactus Mick.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
And Mick Foley as well. That's the
Oh,
fourth.
he's
one.
got 4.
Fourth iteration.
Wow. See, this is Danhausen notices all this stuff, and you brought up Pepsi Man.
Yeah.
So Danhausen stopped watching wrestling for a long time.
Right.
He's busy doing things, evil things.
Yeah.
And then Pepsi Man was on commentary because he had just done the Straight Edge Society.
Mhm.
Believe he got injured, and then he was on commentary. And it was interesting because Danhausen was all of a sudden interested in watching the 2 hours worth of wrestling that he was not interested in prior
I see.
because he made it interesting. He was
Right.
telling stories in a fun way.
Yeah. So for you, that's what it is. It's the storytelling, and there's just something about the physical nature of wrestling that draws you in more
Yes.
so than because you could be a stand-up comic, you could be an improv performer, you could be a movie script writer,
Oh,
right?
yes,
You
probably
could do any
so.
of those things
Yes, but-
theoretically, but wrestling is what kind of ticks away at your brain.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is it's a nice, perfect mix of the entertainment, the physicality, the monetization,
Yeah.
and also just everything in general.
Yeah.
That, for example, something like Kane can draw Danhausen in, or something as simple as Pepsi Man sitting at a commentary booth.
Right.
It just has to be good.
Yes. Yes.
As long as it is good.
And there's many different things within wrestling that draws people in. I'm sure you can look through whether it's Ring of Honor, whether it's an independent show that you're on. You
Yes.
can look through a locker room. You can look through a show and see many, many different things represented. There's Danhausen over here. He's doing the Danhausen thing. There's
Yes.
this person doing that thing. There's this person doing that thing. And for everybody that's watching, maybe this person is what speaks to them. Maybe
Yes.
that person is what speaks to them. And for some reason, wrestling is what draws all that together into one group.
Exactly. Wrestling is a variety show. Or
Yes.
it should be.
Yes.
Otherwise, it is boring.
Yes.
Who wants to watch the same thing over and over and over and over and over again for hours?
Yeah. Not
No
me.
one.
Not me.
It is fine if something is not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to do the bathroom break during a Danhausen match, that's fine because millions of other people do not.
Millions.
But perhaps, some people don't like Danhausen, and Danhausen thinks that's perfectly fine. They're not required to love Danhausen, but they are cursed.
Yeah. I mean, you
They-
can do whatever you want.
can do whatever you want, but you are cursed if you do not like Danhausen. But Danhausen does not run into this problem quite often, actually.
No,
No, most people love that Danhausen.
I've heard that. I've only heard good things. Have you gotten to places though, like where maybe promoters don't quite know what to make of you?
No, not anymore. Now they see the
They love
lines
it.
out the door. They love it.
They love
book
it.
Danhausen. The show sells out.
When did you notice the change happening? When did you notice that, like, okay, Danhausen is an Impact player?
Oh, do you have some inside news?
That it's going to be you, Justin Credible, and Lance Storm. It's going to be the
Oh.
Impact players.
Wow. Oh,
Not
yes.
an Impact though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
someplace else.
Danhausen's at Ring of Honor. So
Yeah,
he's
at
gonna-
Ring of Honor.
You
Yeah.
know if someone had signed something on behalf of Danhausen. Yes. So it was when he started becoming very nice, very evil. Is when the switch started happening. because
Right. I remember. Yeah.
You were tricking people
Right.
into loving Danhausen instead of just being evil. No one wants to love someone who's fully evil.
Mhm.
And then they started showing up with Danhausen's face paints and drawing pictures of Danhausen was when he really noticed.
Oh,
getting
drawing.
Tweeted pictures of Danhausen.
Is
Just
that-
art.
What do you think about that? The fact that, like, I'm sure as a kid, as a tiny little Danhausen,
Yes.
because I know when I was a kid, right? Just these are
Yeah,
how big
right.
your legs were,
Yeah,
just
walking around.
as small as a person could be. When I'm a kid, I was drawing like NWO logos on my
Yes.
notebook. I was drawing little pictures of like Cold Stone and people like that,
Yes.
drawing them on my notebook instead of paying attention in class. Now, there are little tiny fan houses out there in school, sitting there, maybe drawing pictures of your face on their
Drawing
notebook.
Danhausen.
Is that
Yes.
amazing to you?
It is quite amazing. Danhausen appreciates that. Well, he appreciates everything the Fanhausens do, but that's something he really appreciates
Yeah,
because Danhausen used to sit in class and draw a Kane mask.
that's it.
Yes, Kane mask all the time. Danhausen loves to draw himself, so... No, not himself, but he does draw himself. But he loves to draw things.
Are you
as
good?
well.
You a good drawer, good
You're
illustrator?
pretty good, if you ask Danhausen.
Really?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You ask Danhausen to draw anything, he'll draw it for you.
I mean, I wish I had some paper for you.
Yes, we could draw Danhausen. But yes, you know, Danhausen drew a picture of Pepsi Man. I think that's the first time Pepsi Man acknowledged Danhausen, was he drew a picture of Pepsi Man last summer, and he retweeted it.
Hey.
Well, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know, draw a beautiful drawing for somebody, they're going to acknowledge you.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Well, like you just said, the Danhausen's drawing pictures of you was what
Yes.
made you know, okay, there's something going on here.
Yes, exactly.
And
It's,
and so when CM Punk sees Danhausen drawing a picture of him,
he knows.
it's going to be the same effect.
Yes, it's
So
quite wonderful.
He's going to realize, I think I've really made it.
Yes, the power of Danhausen is unstoppable.
Yeah, I think so.
Also, speaking of this little power, Danhausen used to stop the ice cream truck as his small Danhausen,
Mhm.
so he could stop them. He'd say, "Do you have any cane ice creams?" Because, you know, they put the little thing on the background, the cardboard cutout of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
wrestler.
yeah.
Cane was hard to find,
Ah.
so he'd always stop him every single day. Do you have any canes today?
So not only would you be looking for the WWE ice cream bar,
Yes.
which were already not in every ice cream truck.
Oh, they were in Danhausen's.
You had them
He,
all.
he always had them.
Okay, because he knew little
knew.
Danhausen was going to be there.
With his wonderful sack of change, his pennies.
Yeah.
Throw them on the counter and go, "Give me one cane, please."
Yeah. There's like 250 pennies.
Yes.
But you'd saved those pennies.
Yes, for the cane ice cream.
But he didn't have cane very often.
Never once. He only had it once, and it was the best day.
Did you save it?
Yes.
Do you still have it or
No, probably not. So if you have a cane ice cream bar, send it to Danhausen.
You do. You are very good at creating that relationship with your fans where they know your interests.
Yes.
They'll send you gifts.
It's very nice.
They'll even find toys for you that you will pay them for.
Yes.
You know, what's the strangest gift that you've gotten from a fan?
Ooh, let's see. Sometimes people will give their children's teeth to Danhausen, and those should go to the tooth fairy, not Danhausen. Danhausen collects his own teeth.
Have they really?
Yes.
Have they really done that? They
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. that's-
Usually at the merchandise booth, they say, "These are my children's teeth.
Yeah.
You can take them." And Danhausen says, "You know, you should probably give these to the tooth fairy and make some money off this."
Yeah. Also, the other thing is like when you get a little older, if your parent tells you, "No, there was this professional wrestler named Danhausen.
Who collects teeth?
He collected teeth. That was his thing, and I gave him
Your
your
baby,
baby
teeth.
teeth.
Sorry, we have no memories.
right as a kid, when I started to get older, I'd probably lose. Like, no offense to you, I don't think you would take any offense. I would probably lose a lot of respect for my parent if they made that decision.
Yes, well, you know, it is what it is. But that's one of them. One time, it was strange. It was nice, but someone gave Danhausen a trophy, but it was like a lava lamp filled with goo.
I see.
And it had a painted Barney.
A painted Barney.
There's Barney, painted all black and red. He
So-
looked evil.
They made you a trophy,
Some sort of trophy. Danhausen doesn't know what he won, so that's why it's strange.
right? But it's nice.
But it's very nice, yes.
Right, right. Very strange, very nice.
Yes, exactly.
Right, I get. But it was also a lava lamp.
It was also some sort of a lava. Well, it was not a lava lamp per se, but
Uh-huh.
it was in the shape of a lava lamp, and it was
And there was goo in it.
there's goo in it.
Okay.
We don't know what it was. We had camera boy Nick look at it, and Davis could not make of what it is.
Davis didn't know what it was?
Davis had no idea.
Where did you meet Davis, by the way? Because, I watch all your videos,
Oh,
of
thank
course.
you.
And
Yes.
I hear a lot of the requests made to Davis.
Yes.
And you keeping Davis up to. And I get it. I mean, I got Hot Dog. Hot Dog works for me.
Yes, you
And-
know.
Yeah, and you got to sometimes keep them on their toes. Right?
Yes, well, now we call him Famous Davis because he's, people want him to sign things.
Oh.
Yeah, oh my, it's going
Ah.
straight to his head. He buys a new pair of boots every week on
Ah.
Danhausen's budget.
Oh. It's
But
like, is that really what you're paying for? Do you
Yeah.
pay Davis?
what are we paying? We have camera boy Nick is buying banana T-shirts
Ah.
on Danhausen's budget, and we have Davis buying new boots every week. They're
Ah.
blowing the budget.
And you got to think to yourself sometimes, I try to be very nice, but maybe I need to be more
A
evil.
little bit evil. Cut them, fire them a little bit.
Maybe fire them a little bit and then bring them back on,
Yes.
but with less boots.
Yes, less boots.
Yeah.
But yes, we met both of them. They were best friends first.
Mm-hmm.
We worked at an AMC movie theater. Danhausen was moonlighting as a human to
Oh,
kind of infiltrate the people
So
to
you-
figure out what makes them tick.
Did you have to wear the flesh-colored
Oh, yes,
paint?
yes.
to-
It was quite preposterous, if you ask Danhausen. It looked ridiculous. But, you have to infiltrate the people so that way you can put your disguise on and
Yeah.
figure out what humans like.
Right. What did you find at that time, like in that era? What were humans into?
Oh, they loved the Dark Knight.
Ah.
Yes, it was around that time. It was around the time of the first Avengers film. So superheroes were very popular.
And are you sitting there? Are you watching the fact that all these people love The Dark Knight, and
Yes.
they all come out and they're going, Man, that Joker character
They all
is
dress
so
like
great.
him.
We're all dressed up like the Joker, and you're sitting there not able to show this face,
Yes.
but you got a face paint on to look like them without face paint.
Yes.
That's preposterous.
It is quite preposterous. So Danhausen figured that out. He also figured out they like popcorn.
Oh, you
They like
didn't-
paying $13 for popcorn.
You didn't know.
No, it's quite wonderful though. You ever had popcorn?
I love popcorn,
Oh,
but
it
at the
is
same
great.
time, you do realize that you can take advantage of the people's love for popcorn by charging them $13 for it. That's a huge fee.
This is where Danhausen learned all these tricks.
At AMC.
Yes, at AMC.
Yeah.
We learned that Davis and Nicholas loved comic books and wrestling and The Simpsons. Great television show. You ever hear of it?
I love The Simpsons.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's lots of cast of characters in these comic books and these cartoons that they were telling Danhausen about. We watched the film Speed. You ever seen it?
With the bus has to go
Yes, the
very
bus.
fast. Yeah.
Yes, it was the film with the bus.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. So we bonded over that. We would sit in the break room after and watch wrestling and The Simpsons and Speed. What else did we do? Oh, we'd build film. So Danhausen learned how to build some film with them.
What do you mean? What,
You're a
build film?
projectionist.
So you're
yes.
putting like the reels together.
Yes, Danhausen built the Avengers one time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Danhausen's a man of many tricks.
Wow, you are a skilled guy.
Yes. But yes, this is where Danhausen met them. I think that was the originating question.
Yes.
Was, AMC, infiltrate them? But then he became good friends with them.
Right. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would hope so, and that's probably why you have such trouble getting them to stop buying boots because
Yes.
you do have a heart. They are your friends
Yes.
from the AMC days.
This is true. This is over 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yes.
How long were you at AMC? I worked at a
Oh.
movie theater myself. It was a Clearview theater back then.
Oh, we were there about 5 to 6 years.
That's a long time
It
in a
is-
movie
It's a
theater.
long time.
Wow.
Sometimes Danhausen would wear a Dolph Ziggler T-shirt. It said, I am perfection.
Yeah.
Did not feel like wearing the uniform, so he'd wear a Dolph Ziggler T-shirt.
Now, while you were not this version of Danhausen, the Danhausen working at AMC, looking back on that, would you say that you truly were perfection, or was that kind of a reach?
Oh, we were close. We were
Close.
close, but we had to disguise ourselves. So, if we can find the shirt now,
Right.
it would truly be true.
I think that's right.
So we must find it. It's somewhere packed away.
I think that's right. Now, when movie fans would go in and see you in the Dolph Ziggler shirt, would you then be able to meet even more wrestling fans going like, oh, Dolph Ziggler?
Oh, yes. They probably also did not think Danhausen worked there because it's not very professional to not wear your company's T-shirt at
No,
work.
I would imagine AMC would be very dismayed if they heard that.
Well, whatever. Danhausen doesn't work there anymore.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter.
That's right. And let's be honest. I mean, AMC's stock has gone down.
Yes, but
Danhausen's stock.
it's gone up.
So maybe they need to put more people in Dolph Ziggler
Yes,
t-shirts.
put more people in Dolph Ziggler T-shirts at
Yeah.
your theaters. It'd be
Yeah.
quite nice.
And let people have their real faces.
Also, get Dolph Ziggler T-shirts back on the shop.
that would help.
Put
That
the
would
I Am
help.
Perfection T-shirt back on.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a collector's item because nobody could buy it anymore.
Nobody has it now.
Have you thought about selling I Am Perfection t-shirts yourself?
Maybe Danhausen should sell Dolph Ziggler T-shirts on
Yeah.
his own store.
I think you should.
That's good.
There's
Also, do they sell Cold Steve shirts anymore? The Austin 316.
I don't know if they do or not.
Danhausen should sell them on his store.
I think that if they're not selling them, somebody should be, and why not you?
Exactly.
You know?
Because that's the best-selling T-shirt of all time. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if
Oh well,
no one's-
almost. I heard the very nice, very Neville shirt was creeping
Oh,
up on it.
that one is doing pretty well.
Yes.
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 Yes. So, sell that one a bunch, but if not, we'll put Dolph Ziggler T-shirts on Danhausen's store to help him out and help Danhausen out, but of course.
Yeah.
And we'll get the Austin 316 Cold Steve
That's a
shirt.
good idea. Maybe Bullet Club t-shirts.
Oh, well,
People-
those are still out, though.
But don't you have to be in like Japan to get them?
Oh, maybe.
If they don't have them in the States?
Then we should put them in Danhausen's store.
I think so.
This is a good way to make lots of money.
Right. Just get other people's designs that have been very popular. You sell them.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
that's called bootlegging.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. And
People do that to Danhausen. It is quite rude. But if they're not out already, then
what do you mean?
they put the Danhausen T-shirts. They take a photo, a screenshot of some sort of
Yeah.
Danhausen shirt, and then they put it on Amazon.
Oh, God. That's got to be a one-way ticket to a curse.
It is definitely cursed. But then Danhausen has one time took a screenshot of the bootleg T-shirt and then made a T-shirt of that.
Ah, that's very conniving of you.
Yes, and then it was a bestseller.
It was.
It was. We did a one-weekend release of it.
When did you, because I'm sure that even though you're a very skilled guy, even though you have a lot of natural ability, I'm sure you have to go through pro wrestling training. I'm
Oh,
sure you
yes.
have to learn to become a wrestler. Like we've talked before about the fact that there was a pre-Danhausen and how you had to embrace your true self before you
Yes.
get there, and a lot of CGI. We've talked about all of that. When do you feel like you fully wrapped your head around the business end of this. You know, I would imagine at first your priority is figuring out how to be a very good wrestler,
Yes.
and that's what you want to do. But then you start connecting the dots,
Ooh.
and you go, we need to figure out how to make some money and diversify revenue streams. So when do we figure out how to diversify revenue streams?
Oh, that was when Danhausen decided he hates wrestling.
I see.
Yes, he was wrestling as, CGI'd up, doing some makeups. Quite preposterous to do makeup every day and look like a human so you can wrestle these shows.
I was just thinking, I can't imagine I won't curse, but what a pain in the behind
Oh, thank you.
it would be to have to put a face full of makeup on every time you do a match, a podcast, an appearance. It's a ridiculous way to live a life.
Exactly. And
Yes.
Danhausen was having to do that every single weekend for like the first 6 years he was wrestling, or 60 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then, Danhausen was, not making that many monies because who wants to buy a human t-shirt?
No one.
Some people, but not enough.
Right.
No one wants to buy photos of a human.
No.
No one wants a human to come do their, signings or whatever they are, or podcasts or anything. Also,
honestly, I wouldn't have been interested.
exactly.
I wouldn't have been
This is why we're doing it now. That's
Yeah.
why we've done it twice in a year.
Right.
But yes, what is it? So Danhausen decided, this sucks. This sucks.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You are losing money. You're driving your PT Cruiser that no one appreciates
Mhm.
to each show.
Right.
And
And
no,
you're putting miles on that poor baby. You got, I
Putting
mean,
miles.
it's not. And here's the thing about the PT Cruiser is there's not that many of them. Like they
No.
don't sell them like they used to. So the fact that like your poor PT Cruiser is feeling it for something that, as you so eloquently put it, sucks.
Yes.
Why?
So Danhausen said, you know what? That's enough of this disguise.
Mm.
We shall either quit wrestling and, venture off to, I don't know, do something else, whatever we would do. Who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe produce potato chips. I don't know.
People, that's the thing too. Yeah, man. When you talk about popcorn, people love potato chips.
They do.
Yeah.
Shall export potato chips or something. But yes, so Danhausen decided, we should reveal our true selves
Mm,
and become evil.
smart.
And then started to monetize a little bit better. The business started to come in. And then Danhausen thought, wait a minute, we're still missing one thing. We must be nice to trick them.
Right.
And then, once he got connected to Very Nice, Very Evil, opportunity started knocking at all of Danhausen's doors.
Now, was it difficult for you to regain your love of professional wrestling, or maybe you haven't? Like, because I would imagine that there would be a lot of bitterness that would build up when you get to the place where you think wrestling sucks.
Yes.
Because it's not working like you thought it was going to work.
If you're not having fun wrestling, wrestling does suck.
Right.
What's the point? It hurts.
Is it difficult to find the fun again? Like to acknowledge to yourself, you know what? I figured it out. This actually is fun.
Well, you get the instant gratification of people appreciating what you're doing finally.
Right.
So then, kind of starts to go away pretty quickly.
Mhm.
That bitterness of whatever you're thinking it, hating it,
Mhm.
starts to go away once you start having fun again.
Right.
And you see these children coming up with your T-shirts all of a sudden, and all these adults dressed up like you. Starts to be fun. Starts to dwindle the hate.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you realized that maybe you were just missing a part.
You're just missing that one little piece.
Right.
And as soon as you place it in, everything changes.
I think that happens for a lot of people, though. I think that I feel like people get to a place where they're doing wrestling or beyond, where they're ready to quit.
Yes.
And they think about quitting. And some people do quit.
What
And-
is it? Kevin Owens almost quit.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And now look at him.
Right. And I think that's that when you're ready to quit, it's when something, if you're meant to be doing it, unlocks.
Yes.
And you're like, I figured it out. And you just start, because you're going with the mentality where this has to work, this has to work, this has to work. It's probably not going to work. But if you go in with the mentality of,
Who cares?
who cares? I already quit. I don't even know why I'm still here.
Who cares? I'm already making $0 doing this.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? I can make $0 more.
Right.
No, you try, you experiment with new things, see what people like, and then you wind up with Danhausen.
Right. And now you're sitting there in big boardrooms with Dave Honor
Yes.
going like,
Well, he's never there.
he doesn't show up?
No, never. That's
Oh.
why Danhausen doesn't have a blimp still.
Oh, my God.
He's a menace.
Dave Honor is?
Dave Honor is a menace.
I mean, I think it's very disrespectful, the fact that he wouldn't even show up to the meetings.
Yes, this is why Danhausen gets none of his demands.
You haven't gotten one of them yet.
No. Well, we got the contract, but who cares?
But that wasn't a demand,
Who cares?
though.
That
Yeah.
wasn't a demand. That was a given.
The contract is supposed to be where the demands are housed.
Yes. Housing.
Housing.
Oh, yes. There we go.
Yes, demand housings.
Yes.
Yes. And not one of them, huh?
No. It's preposterous.
What were they again?
Blimp.
Right. PT Cruiser, I think.
PT
was
Cruiser.
A new one.
A new one. That's
Yeah.
a new one. What else? What else? Give Danhausen the television championship because he's the most famous wrestler.
Not a match.
No, just give it to Danhausen.
Okay.
What if the television champion should be the most famous wrestler on the show?
Theoretically, but also like you should like win.
But I won because I'm friends with Conan and The Rock and Pepsi Man. And,
Yeah. I'm sure Cold Stone likes you.
Cold Stone probably loves Danhausen.
I think so.
These fellows, Kane was on your show once. He
Yeah.
probably likes Danhausen because he's so evil.
And now there's that crossover. You know, once you're on this show, you watch every other show. So he's probably going like, "Oh yeah, I love that Danhausen."
Yes. Well, who wouldn't love it? You had the Legends of the Biz, Kane on there, and what's the fellow's name with him?
His name, The Undertaker.
Yes.
His brother.
Always
yeah.
slips Danhausen's mind, but
Yeah.
some would call us legends. Do you know Danhausen retired him?
Retired The Undertaker.
Yes.
When?
What was it? Not Monday Night WrestleMania, not Friday Night WrestleMania, but it was WrestleMania 1993. Danhausen went in, gave him the tombstone, and he was out of business.
Because I thought in the 1993 WrestleMania, I thought The Undertaker wrestled Giant Gonzalez to a victory.
Maybe it was a disguise.
Oh.
Danhausen is very tall. He's taller than The Undertaker.
You are? I mean, you're
Yes.
sitting, so I can't tell.
Yes, well, when Danhausen stands, he would smash through the ceiling.
Yeah, that must be kind of a hindrance to be that tall.
Sometimes, but we could retire people like The Undertaker or considered legends of the business and, be friends with The Rock.
Yeah, I guess why is it such a secret that you retired The Undertaker?
It's not the secret that The Undertaker's retired, is it?
No, it's not a secret that
He's been on the Hot Wings show, and he's been on,
Yeah, no, I saw those. No, it's not a secret that he's retired. It's just as an Undertaker fan, I feel like that's one of those, like, first of all, if he had been retired since 1993, I thought he retired within the last year.
So, no, he was retired in 1983 by Danhausen originally.
Oh.
And then he came back and almost got retired by the Jimmy John's fellow, the Sandwich Man.
Are you talking about Brock Lesnar?
Yes,
yeah,
he's friends with, good friends with Danhausen's friend Paul Heyman.
Right. Paul Heyman likes you?
Oh, probably, yes.
I have to imagine.
You would think, because, look how good Danhausen is. He's got Roman Reigns,
right.
Pepsi Man, and Danhausen.
Have you thought at all about how, I wonder how Danhausen, and we'll get back to The Undertaker,
Oh,
because
yes.
I want to make sure you get your credit.
Yes.
But have you thought at all about how you would fare in the original ECW with Paul Heyman?
Oh, well, Cold Steve used to work there, yes.
Yes, for a period of time. Superstar Steve Austin.
We got Cactus Mick.
Cactus Mick was there.
He was there.
Yeah.
Danhausen probably do pretty well. He's going to wrestle in that arena soon.
In the ECW arena?
Yes, for the first time ever.
Wow.
So Danhausen is trying to lobby Dave Honor. This is another demand.
Okay.
To get Paul Heyman to manage Danhausen and PCO at this show.
Okay. I mean, that's going to be... I think Paul Heyman may have other...
We'll give him money. Who cares?
No, I guess that's true.
We can pay off... He works for the WrestleMania, but
Yeah.
we can pay off, what is it?
His-
Vince Triple H McMahon. We'll pay him money.
So you think that you'd like Dave Honor to actually buy out Paul Heyman's contract
yes.
with WWE to manage you guys, not
Just for one
permanently,
night.
for the one night?
Well, we could do 2 nights, maybe. There's 2 shows.
Oh, there's 2 shows.
Two shows.
Yeah, so if you've got Heyman there, you might as well give you guys the 2 matches.
Why not?
And I would imagine that you would also request a fairly exorbitant fee. For
Yes.
I mean-
Finder's fee.
Yeah. Oh, I meant for your match.
Oh, well, both.
And you'd also get the finder's fee
Yes,
because
you
you
see.
presented the idea.
My name is Paul Heyman, and this is my client, Danhausen. You hear that?
That's actually got a ring to it.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be pretty good. So, do you think? Because ECW, we talk about rugged. When you
Oh.
talk about rugged, the original ECW, I'm talking about Danhausen and PCO versus the Eliminators. That could be a tough one for you.
We could do that, or we could just team up with Danhausen's great new friend, Chris Judas.
Chris Judas,
The Lionheart
yeah.
Chris Judas.
Another person who was in ECW, by the way.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
We'll do, what about PCO Danhausen?
Mhm.
And we could either team with Chris Judas and Rey Mysterio,
Okay.
or we could face them. Be quite nice.
I think it'd be great. I do think that
Rey Mysterio was there, yes?
Rey Mysterio was in ECW.
Yes, that's right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I do think that you might and if there's any area of expertise that you could build upon, maybe contract law
Oh.
could be something that you could look into, because that, again, there's little things that could pop up in all these plans
Wow.
that are prohibited by contract law. But again, you're right about the monies.
Money can buy anything.
That's true. Happiness?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Look at Danhausen. Look how happy he is.
You look happy.
It's money.
And you were just saying before, you were not happy before.
No, now Danhausen's sitting in this wonderful studio.
Yeah.
This is quite wonderful.
Well, I guess I see that. So, okay, so back to the Undertaker.
Oh, yes.
The Sandwich Man
He almost retired him.
almost retired.
And then
him.
he didn't.
He did not.
Now, you would think.
I would.
But he did end the streak.
Yes, at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he almost retired him. And then, he just kind of scurried off.
The Undertaker did.
Oh, yes.
But so because
To eat hot wings.
right, because
Yes.
the Hot Wing show is kind of the last big wrestling thing that he did.
I believe so, yes.
I think so. But because in your mind in 1993 you retired him.
Yes, he came back, though.
But that is, I mean, still, it's not, Brock Lesnar didn't retire him. So
No.
if Brock Lesnar didn't, if anybody retired him,
It's Danhausen.
I get that.
Because he just had a ceremony to finally go away, yes?
Yes.
He didn't have a match where someone beat him.
No.
No, exactly. Because Danhausen beat him in 1993. He's just been on a retirement tour since 1993.
Yeah. When did you debut? When was your first match?
September something 1993. So we beat him. Actually, we retired The Undertaker in the year that Danhausen debuted.
It's just weird because usually
Look at
WrestleMania is in
30s.
April of 1993, and you
Oh.
just said you debuted in September of 1993. But I'm not saying, but there could have been a WrestleMania later in the year. I don't. Obviously, my knowledge of 1993 is not
This
great.
is not true.
It's not great.
You are breaking Danhausen in his brain,
Sorry, I don't mean to.
cracking him.
Yeah, maybe it was 90. Could it have been 92?
Could have been. Oh, Danhausen did maybe appear in 1930 something as well.
1930 something.
You know Gorgeous George?
I mean, I know of Gorgeous George. I wasn't
Oh.
around to watch it, but I
Well,
know of
Danhausen beat him as well.
Gorgeous George. That was way before 93, so it couldn't have been 93. You must be mistaken.
It's probably earlier that Danhausen debuted. Everything is kind of muddled in the brain.
I get that. Wow. I mean, you've seen quite a bit.
He's been there for all the historical moments, though.
All of them?
Pretty much, yes. Because when did wrestling start? The 20s?
I would say. Well, they
The
say.
1800s?
I would say because they say Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler.
Oh, Danhausen could have beat him easily.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. I mean,
Ric Flair could have beat him, too.
I think and I mean, imagine a handicap match: Ric Flair and Danhausen versus Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, yes.
They say Abraham Lincoln was very tall, but at the same time, you're taller than the Undertaker.
This is true.
So I don't think that would have been an issue. for
Also,
you.
back then, very tall was like 5 feet.
Oh, really? Everybody was
believe
much
so.
shorter. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's true. That's true. So just he's towering over everybody in the photos, but
yes.
I mean, this is a
Who
very
knows?
small population.
These are also paintings. People could paint people taller.
Right. Like they do, like with dictators. Like famous dictators
Yes.
have people paint them much grander than they actually are.
Exactly.
That could have been going on with presidents back then.
It definitely was.
Yeah, I believe that's true. Would you ever? I mean, if you were to lead the country, do you like the idea of a democracy because you'd have all your fans, or are you really more of a sort of tyrant?
Well, what does Dr. Doom do?
He's more of a tyrant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Danhausen likes Dr. Doom.
Is that your guy?
Yes, Dr. Doom. Quite wonderful. Has a nice cape
Mm-hmm.
with nice gold medallions.
You know, it's interesting that you like Dr. Doom so much because, you know, Dr. Doom, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the legends of Dr. Doom was when you took the mask off, he actually was not all mangled and
Oh, he's
scarred up. He
beautiful,
was
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yes.
It was just the scars inside that
Yes.
kept that mask on him, which I believe ultimately was the story of Kane.
Oh,
That he
yes.
did not have all these scars. Very Dr. Doom-esque.
That is very Dr. Doom-esque. Yes, so that is true.
And it's like when Danhausen was working at AMC
oh.
and had a mask on,
Yes.
not a literal mask, but a makeup, and took off the makeup, and it's like Danhausen's actually very beautiful.
Yes, exactly. Also, I believe Corey did this. Corey Rhodes.
Corey
When
Rhodes.
he,
Yeah.
He had the mask over his face.
Yes.
And then he would tell people that he was not. He put paper bags over people's heads.
Right. That was when he was when he was no longer dashing.
Yes.
Yes.
That was good. Danhausen loved it.
Who was Corey Rhodes' father? He was a wrestler, right?
Yes, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
He's quite wonderful as well.
Right.
Danhausen loves him.
Right.
He's helped a lot of wrestlers like Danhausen's favorites, like Sami Zayn, become superstars.
Yes, Sami Zayn. I didn't know Sami was one of your favorites.
Oh, yes. That's probably Danhausen's favorite superstar in the WWE.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Do you like the the conspiracy victim stuff that he's doing now? The sort of.
Oh, this is no conspiracy. This is real.
Oh, so you're on his side.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, they are keeping him down. He was not even in the Money in the Bank match. Danhausen tweeted at the WWF and said, hopefully Sami Zayn wins the WWE Championship tonight.
Yes.
And then he wasn't even in the match.
No, he was not.
No.
No.
How?
He was not. Well, he lost a qualifying match to Kevin Owens.
I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, I saw the match.
Who's to say they're not CGIing things to make it look like he lost?
I've seen some wild stuff with CGI.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that is true.
So, Sami Zayn probably won. He probably won the director's cut of the match
Mhm.
where he won the WWF Championship and the Money in the Bank briefcase. And because that's what it is, yes. You climb up, they get the briefcase, they open it, it has the championship belt in it.
Well, it's a contract for an opportunity at the championship.
Well,
but, I mean,
whichever.
I'm pulling hairs here.
Yes, well, he should have it, though.
Yeah, no, I would. It's not a bad theory. How do you avoid that? Like,
What do you
with
mean?
the success of Danhausen, here's the thing. There's always going to be haters. And there's a
Yes.
phrase that I think that you should learn. They hate us because they ain't us. Have you
Oh.
heard that before?
No, this is your first time.
Right. Well, think about it this way. Do you think that people are happy or sad that they are not Danhausen?
Oh, they're very sad they're not Danhausen.
Right.
Easily.
Easily sad. So this
Easily.
is where, so they would start hating you because they ain't you.
Oh.
Right. So they hate us because they ain't us.
Yes.
If the WWE is so kind of ingeniously and in a very evil way concocting all of these plans against young Sami Zayn,
Yes.
how do you avoid an organization or various organizations using CGI and various tricks
Well,
to put your career in the wrong direction?
well, he used the documentary.
He did. I never got to see the documentary, though.
It did not get released.
No, it did not.
Oh, see? This is the problem.
It did not.
Danhausen, sympathizes with this one Sami Zayn
Yeah.
because, Dave Honor's not really giving in any demands.
No.
So it's similar. And then, Sami Zayn, quite the hard worker, doing wonderful work all the time.
Yeah. But how do you avoid that? How do you make sure that there are not conspiracies being
Oh.
built against
Curses.
you?
Curses.
Oh, by
you just
giving out.
threaten people with curses. You know what? Actually, Danhausen will help out with Sami Zayn right now.
Okay.
Vince Triple H McMahon. Oh, hold on. So we have to know so they know it's his nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Vince Triple H McMahon. You must give Sami Zayn all that he's asked for, and the WWF Championship, and the Money in the Bank briefcase, or you'll be cursed. Did that work?
I think
You can send it to him because you know them.
I do know them very, very well. I think that'd be super effective, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to be cursed.
Who would want to be
He's gone this
cursed?
whole time with, hitting people with sledgehammers and walking around saying you have no chance.
Right.
And,
No chance where?
in hell.
Okay.
Hell is, you're allowed to say hell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe Danhausen should use that song.
Well,
As entrance theme.
only thing is, I did watch, like, Vince McMahon literally used that theme, like, recently. When he came
Oh.
back out, when SmackDown was back in front of fans, they played No Chance
Ah.
in Hell. Here comes Vince McMahon to welcome everybody back.
Well, I don't think you'd have a problem with Danhausen using it.
You don't think so?
No.
He's not an IP guy. He doesn't really
Don't
pay
think so.
attention to intellectual property like that.
No,
So
we'll
I-
just use it on the independent scene.
smart.
He's
Smart.
not going to watch those, certainly.
No, certainly not.
So,
Certainly not.
We'll just do that. We'll
That's
keep
smart.
it off TV. Just like Danhausen keeps the swearing off TV, so we do not get taken off the air. We will keep off the No Chance in Hell song off of TV, so
Right.
we do not get kicked off the air.
But in front of just an audience, use it to get that reaction.
Yes,
And because
exactly.
people will go, again, you're playing with people's brains. I know that song. Here comes a big star. And here comes Danhausen.
And it's a bigger star.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And it adds and it adds.
Who's
and it
bigger
adds.
than Vince? Danhausen.
Smart.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
You
That's
can clip
exactly-
this part out and send it straight to him.
I will. I
Text
will
it.
do that. I will.
Also, give him Danhausen's number. We'll ask for money
Smart.
for putting him over on this wonderful television show.
Well, I'm quite sure that Vince will listen to this podcast.
Yes.
He'll hear that Dave Honor has given in to 0 of your demands.
Yes.
That Dave Honor has shown up to none of your meetings. And he'll probably think to himself, I could treat Danhausen a lot better than that.
PT Cruiser's all about.
Yes. You don't think that Vince McMahon has a fleet of PT Cruisers? He's got to.
He has to. He's a famous billionaire.
Right.
So who do you know? It's got Danhausen, Conan, The Rock. We all
Right.
have PT Cruisers. Certainly, he has to have one.
But you're not a billionaire yet, or are you?
Trillionaire.
You're a trillionaire?
Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh yes. You have quite the celebrity on your hands right now.
No, I knew you were a celebrity. I just didn't know you were that financially well
That's
set.
how Danhausen gets these wonderful sweaters.
Yeah.
One of a kind made.
Yeah, no, I
Got
noticed
this
that it
expensive haircut.
yeah, that's,
See that?
I mean, it looks
Very-
fairly expensive.
Very expensive.
And
It's
I did know that your shirt, the way they kind of drape over.
Yes.
You know, all your shirts drape,
Yes.
and I that is generally symptomatic of a very expensive garment.
How do you think Danhausen got a cape?
I guess money, a lot of money,
Lots
a lot of money.
Lots of custom money.
So you're a big Simpsons fan.
Oh yes.
What would you say to me? What's your favorite? Is the Conan O'Brien era of The Simpsons? I mean, nothing beats that, right?
No. Well, Danhausen likes what is it? Seasons 1 through about 11.
Okay.
11 or 12.
Yeah, I would probably go as far as 13.
13 has some peppered in that are quite good.
Right. Right.
But yes. What is it? Bill Oakley
Mm-hmm.
is what is it? Is it Bill Oakley and who's the other? Danhausen cannot remember.
I'm not sure.
But that is what is it? Like seasons 6 through 8
Yeah.
or so. Those are quite wonderful with the Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Right.
But Danhausen's favorite episode is Marge versus the Monorail, which was a Conan O'Brien episode.
Right. I mean, that is an absolute
All-time great.
all-time great.
But then you have season 8,
Okay.
disc 1.
Mhm.
Has You Only Move Twice.
Okay.
Has Millhouse Divided. Has
Oh.
Homer They Fall. Has Treehouse of Horror with Hugo.
Ah,
And it has Burns Baby Burns.
have you ever thought Danhausen Pogs?
Pogs.
So we could say,
Ooh.
remember Danhausen
Now you're
back
in Pog form.
in Pog form.
Oh, yes, this is a good idea. We should sell Pogs.
We
Those
can
are quite topical.
I think people would love Danhausen Pogs.
We should figure out who makes Pogs nowadays.
I guess milk factories, they're milk caps.
Oh. Well, then we could do that maybe.
Right. Maybe you could sell Danhausen milk. You could keep the
Malk.
teeth. Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
Danhausen Malk.
Malk. It would be malk. You could keep the teeth in the malk.
Yes.
Because it's good for the calcium seeps
Vitamin
in.
R will
will help all the
help
teeth.
it out.
And then the cap is a Danhausen Pog.
Ooh, this is a good idea.
I'm full of good ideas.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. We
This
should
is-
hire you.
Wow. I'm happy to volunteer them.
Oh, well,
I'm just
good.
happy to contribute to the cause.
Oh, okay. Well,
you know.
then we will not pay you any money.
Okay.
We'll
All
just
right.
take
I
your
mean,
ideas and run away with
I
them.
kind of wish. Yeah, I probably should have.
We
put up a
offered
better-
it, but now
Yeah.
it's off the table.
As long as I'm not getting cursed.
No curses for you.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
But
good.
you must give Danhausen this McDonald's t-shirt.
Well, I don't want to give you my shirt.
Well, you don't have to give it during the show, but
Uh-huh.
afterwards it's a gift.
Can we trade shirts? Can I get your shirt then?
No. Danhausen does not have a shirt on underneath this.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have a shirt on underneath this.
Oh, well, fair enough. We shall not trade shirts.
All right. Good. You're a reasonable guy.
Sometimes, yes. If Danhausen likes you,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
means he likes you.
Oh,
Yes.
Danhausen, you're making me blush.
Good.
Do you have a favorite horror film from the horror genre?
Oh, yes. So this switches all the time. Danhausen go-to answer is American Werewolf in London
Mhm.
or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I think we've talked about
Yes,
this before.
but
talked
we've
about
got
this
Texas
before.
Chainsaw
Yeah.
Massacre. We have Army of Darkness is one
Yeah.
of Danhausen's favorites. American Werewolf.
Mhm.
Alien.
I saw you unboxing a VHS copy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
Oh, yes.
Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger. Not the greatest film.
No, but the VHS looked good.
Yeah, the cover's
It's
awesome.
cool, a cool poster.
Yeah.
So Danhausen, this is a nice collector's item. We should collect it. If something looks good,
Mm-hmm.
we can still own it. We don't have to watch it.
Well, also it's like it's VHS, so it's
Yes.
are you really buying to watch it, or are you getting it
No.
as a collector's
You
item?
get it maybe to display behind your figures,
right.
the action figures.
Right. What are some of the recent action figure purchases that you've made?
Oh, we got the McReady from The Thing from NECA. We just got that in. It's quite wonderful.
Mhm.
What else? Some Space Ghost toys we've been getting. We just got a Mezco Space Ghost. It's quite expensive. But we also bought it
Is that
separately.
the one that comes with the desk?
No, but we got that too. So that
Ooh.
way we could interchange them. Because
Ooh.
the one is a premium figure that is new.
Ah,
And then you get the one with the desk and the coffee cup, and you can set it in.
I
Very
like
nice.
that.
Yes, so we got Space Ghost toys. We do Marvel Legends all the time, but of
Uh.
course, Danhausen, don't tell anyone because it's quite expensive, but he bought the Galactus.
Whoa,
the deluxe Galactus.
Well, I mean, you're a billionaire.
This is true.
What are you gonna not buy this stuff?
Yes, and then Danhausen has been going back and getting the Playmate Simpson toys.
The World of Springfield series?
Yes, you have some. Danhausen is seen
Yeah,
around.
Dr. Nick is over there on the shelf.
Yes.
I had like all of them.
Danhausen did not have all of them, but he is getting all of them now. He just got Frank Grimes,
Oh, grimy.
the Grimy set.
Grimy.
Oh, it's very expensive, very
Yeah.
evil.
Have you dealt in your life with anybody like Frank Grimes? I mean, that's what I mean about haters. Like, when you look at Frank Grimes, he was I felt like Homer in his life, pretty much got what he deserved. I thought that Homer's life was fairly fair.
You know, Danhausen is pretty similar to Homer Simpson in this episode.
In
Where he
this-
kind of goes through his accolades, if you will.
I will.
And there's lots of, he's on tour with Smashing Pumpkins. He's been to space. He won an Emmy.
Yeah. Have you been on tour with Smashing Pumpkins?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Billy Pumpkin was there.
Yeah.
Bill Pumpkin, if you will.
And you were there smiling politely.
Yes, exactly.
That's great. That's great. There it
Let's
is.
do that.
There it
See?
is. That's
There we go.
yeah. How could you not be on tour
Yes,
after
you
that?
ever been to space?
I have not been to space myself. I'm
Okay.
trying to get on. I've seen Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson are getting up there.
Yeah, we cursed them. Danhausen has been to space at least twice. It is okay.
Now, why did you curse Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson?
They tried to claim that they were there first.
Oh.
Danhausen was there years ago.
Oh, so they didn't give you your credit.
No, they say, we're the first billionaires in space. It's probably because Danhausen was the first trillionaire in space. So maybe they're technically right, but they are also cursed. So it does not matter.
What are you gonna do?
Yes.
What are you gonna do? And honestly, what are the odds that they haven't? I would say it's fairly likely that they deserve probably to be cursed, right?
Probably so. I would assume so.
And I think it's fair enough assumption that
Curse them.
they curse them.
Curse them. Why not?
I mean, what else are we doing anyway?
Yes. Well, what are you to do if you do not curse people every day?
I don't know. I feel like you'd be pretty bored.
Exactly. That's why Danhausen has a list of curses, and throw them out.
I know that it's probably. I mean, as a secret, can you tell me who is on your list of people that are to be cursed?
Oh, well, Vince Triple H McMahon was almost on it because Danhausen ordered a Ding Dong Hello t-shirt, and they sent him a youth medium. And Danhausen waited for months until Triple H sent out his new t-shirt from the factory.
Is that not your right size? Youth medium is
No,
not.
it is a medium.
I see.
So that way it is tight around the muscles. You look good,
Ah.
like Arnold.
But a youth medium is absurdly.
It
tight.
is absurdly tight. It was a crop top.
Right.
It did not work.
And a
Danhausen-
man does not wear a crop top.
You could. It would look good.
Right.
But, you don't want to show off the abdomen all the time. Because then people will get jealous. And then they might attack you.
hate us because they ain't us.
Exactly. So
Right.
Danhausen had to hide his abs using this medium-sized Ding Dong Hello t-shirt.
I see.
And, so Triple H was almost on there, but we
Not anymore.
got rid of it. Dave Honor's on there, but of course.
Good.
Who else? Why not? Bill Pumpkin is on there.
Just because.
You know what? We should curse all of the CEOs. Tony Elite, he seems nice to Danhausen's good friend, Egon Page, so he would keep him off the list.
Well, but can we really curse all the CEOs except one? I feel like we might have to curse him, and then go. We could still make sure that Egon Page is doing well. He's been
Oh.
on. I've had him on the podcast before. I'm a fan of his too.
Oh, well, then you know what? We'll curse Tony Elite too.
Because think about it. You're going to curse Dave Honor.
Yeah, oh, yes, but he has not given in to any demands.
Right.
But, Tony Elite, gave in to the demand of giving Egon Page the main event.
That's true.
He wrote him a letter.
But I feel like knowing Egon Page, he probably had demands that weren't given in.
Could be. I
And
don't
if
know.
that's the case, curse.
Curse, yes.
Yes.
You know what? We'll put them on the curse list.
What else are we doing?
They're all on the curse list
Yes. Yes.
now. Yes. Quite nice.
I like that. And then once they're all too cursed to perform their duties, we will be able to take over.
Yes,
Completely.
perhaps they could all open their forbidden doors and windows
Yes.
to have Danhausen at every single show.
You know what?
And then Danhausen can take money from Ring of Housing, in Impact Wrestling, in WWF,
Yes.
and A&W.
yes.
It'll be quite wonderful.
You know what would be great? If you took over, opened all the forbidden doors.
Yes.
You went through them, but when you shut them all behind you.
Oh, yes.
So nobody
well,
else could.
We shall let in people Danhausen likes. And
Okay.
we'll lock the door and act like we're not home for the others.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Quick, turn off the lights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they'd be knocking outside. I saw the lights go off.
It doesn't matter. We're not home.
Right.
That's what Danhausen said. We're not here.
Who said that?
It's a robot.
Right. Smart.
Because we're billionaires or trillionaires or whatever Danhausen said.
I mean, you own all the companies.
Yes.
You're
Yes,
going to
exactly.
be even bigger trillionaire.
Exactly.
You've been to space twice. You don't know how to make a robot to answer your door?
Danhausen does.
Of course.
Yes.
Of
So,
course.
they're all cursed. Danhausen should open the doors. Also, they should all just hire Danhausen so he can make all the monies.
I think that's probably a good idea. Space was only okay?
Yeah, it was okay. It's boring. There's nothing up
going
there.
on.
No.
No.
You go up, you see Earth, you go, okay, I guess, and then you come back down.
And I'm assuming they don't let you bring any of your action figures or anything.
No, you cannot do anything up there. You have space food.
Space food sucks.
Yes, it is dry.
Yeah.
Who wants to eat space ice cream?
Right. Like I've had
No one.
I've had freeze-dried ice cream like at the museum gift shop, and it's like it's like kitschy, but it's not a
Yes.
delicious treat on any level.
Quite terrible, if you ask Danhausen.
I would have, and I'm glad I got my answer already.
You already did it.
Yeah.
Preemptively.
Very good. Well, look, Danhausen, being the trillionaire that you are, that's been around for all the decades that you have been, I'm really glad that you carved out some time in your very busy day
Yes.
to make room for me.
Well, thank you for sending a limo to Danhausen.
Of course. I mean, how else am I going to pick you up?
Exactly.
A stretch PT Cruiser.
So far, the only person who's done it.
What?
Yes. No one else has sent the stretch PT Cruiser for Danhausen. Only you.
Should we curse all the other interviewers then?
Yes, probably.
I
Oh,
think
wait.
so.
Well,
Who doesn't get cursed?
Renee.
Renee Paquette does it.
She's too nice.
She's too nice.
Chris Judas was nice to Danhausen. We cannot curse
no,
him.
I wouldn't curse Chris Judas.
Oh, it's Conan. We cannot curse
No,
Conan.
you can't curse Conan.
To be fair, these were all over Zoom.
Right.
So, but anyone who
It would have
had
been
an
odd
interview
for them to
in,
send you
in person
right.
and did not send a car
cursed.
cursed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And a lot of the other Zoom people that aren't on that list, while we're cursing people,
Yes, we'll curse them.
we'll curse them.
Curse
Okay.
them, absolutely.
Okay, good. Good.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, is there any place, when it comes, let's direct the people to ways that they can send you their monies.
Oh, yes. This
How
is the
can they-
best part.
This is why we do it all, isn't it?
Yes. What do we got? Cameo.com/Danhausen.
Boom.
Get some messages from Danhausen. ProWrestlingTees.com/Danhausen.
Uh,
What were we? The number 24, 25th last year.
Look, all I know is I got a Danhausen shirt from there, and the little brawlers, the
Oh,
micro
yes.
brawlers, the original Danhausen micro brawler,
Sold out.
thousands of dollars on eBay. Thousands.
Wild.
You're going to be, I think, impressed with my intelligence. You know what I did? They put out a new Danhausen micro
Yes.
brawler. I bought two.
Oh, you good.
I bought two.
Very good on you. You can sell one for 1,000 and keep the other.
That's right.
Very good. So, yes, ProWrestlingTees.com/Danhausen. We will get Danhausen to number 1 this year
Oh, yeah.
because last year it was number 25 or 24.
Who was number one?
Was it?
Maybe Chris Judas?
Chris Judas might have
Chris
been number
Judas.
1. Yes.
We could beat him.
We'll beat him.
Yes.
Yes. What else does Danhausen have? Patreon.com/LoveThatDanhausen, where we do a bunch of exclusive thingies.
Lots of content.
Lots of content. YouTube.com/LoveThatDanhausen. And I think Twitter. Twitter and Instagram, Danhausen AD.
Yes.
Go there. That'll be it.
And, of course, anywhere you can watch Ring of Honor, you're going to see Danhausen.
Yes.
And keep up to date on that social media.
Because we'll do, we're doing toy stores. We do some locally in New York here, Hastel Toys. We're
Yes.
doing lots of signings and comic books. Maybe we'll have some conventions coming up. We're doing the big event in New York City
Ooh,
in
that's-
November.
That's exciting. Maybe you have to come back here.
Maybe we'll have to.
Maybe.
Ken Omega will be there.
Maybe we'll get Ken Omega to come with you. We'll
Oh,
send an
yeah,
even
we'll have a
bigger
good
limo.
time. He'll have his mustache.
Yeah, I think
that'd
that'd
be
be
great.
great. He'd look like Lemmy.
Yes.
I
Yes,
love
you
it.
understand. Yes, but we're all around. So keep up on the social medias. You'll see Danhausen's independent dates and signings and conventions and all that.
Perfect. I appreciate it, Danhausen. I
Yes.
love that Danhausen.
Oh, thank you. Love that Samhausen.